Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to put some sand bedding here in one of our pens in the milking barns. So this pen of cows just went to the parlor. He's gonna move the last couple lines of cows from the previous pen back to their pen, and then he'll come in and clean this pen. Then I'm gonna come and put 4 loads of sand in with our sand wagon or a sand shooter, whatever you want to call it. So you can see the pens aren't low, but they need some bedding. So this pen was last bedded about 10 days ago, and we don't really do any management with these pens other than just raking the manure out of the back of the beds, if there is manure in the back of the beds. So I'm just going to open up the door here because I need to come in through the door, and then he'll come in and clean it, and then we'll go get a few loads of sand to put in this pen. Got the door opened up here. Pretty chilly here today. I think it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Probably the first real cold day of the winter. It's supposed to get pretty cold tonight, but then it's going to warm up again by the looks of it. So he's just bringing the last couple lines of cows from the previous pen here back to the pen. And then he'll go take the skid steer, clean that pen, then I'll come in with the bedding. So I'm inner sand separator building now. I'm gonna grab this skid steer here, and then we'll grab this sand here. So I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of the video, but these two machines here are separating the sand from our manure, and then we pile it over here and let the last little bit of moisture, a little bit of water drain from the sand, and then we'll put this back into our beds and reuse it. This is the tractor we use for this job. It's a 409 Fendt. We actually took this tractor with us from the Netherlands when we moved to Canada in 2001. So it's about, yeah, a little over 20 years old now, I guess. About 20 years old. And then this is what I call the sand wagon. Basically it brings the sand to the front with this hopper belt, throws it on this belt that shoots it into the beds on either side. So we'll take you to the pen here and I'll show you how it's done. So he's got this alley cleaned here already. He's just working on the other side there. I'll see if I can get you guys mounted here so you can see what we're doing. Back with the next load here. So we finished cleaning the pen, so he's got the cows coming back in here. They can come into about half the pen now, so we've got the gates closed off. So I'm shooting over into these stalls here to my right. You can see the cows can lay on either side of those posts, and I'm able to fill both stalls here, both sides of the post, just from this alley here, and then we'll also come back with a load to do on the outside of the barn here. So we bed with sand bedding in our milking cow barns, and we do that because we think sand is the best bedding for the cows. So sand works really good because it's a comfortable bed, it's loose bedding, it stays loose, it doesn't get compacted. The sand we use is fairly coarse sand, so it's always comfortable for them to lay down, and it's easy for them to get up. And sand is also an inorganic material, so it doesn't hold on to bacteria, which is good for our udder health. And it also helps keep our cows good and clean because it wicks away moisture. So if there's any moisture in the stalls, it basically dries itself out, and it's easy to clean. When we bring a group of cows to the barn, we walk along the beds with a rake. We rake out any manure or any urine that would be in the stalls. Sand's a little bit more challenging to handle because it's really abrasive, and it's hard on pumps, it's hard on equipment. We'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the video here, some of the things that we have to deal with and what we're doing to handle and manage the sand. So So just opened the gates to let the cows back in to the other manure alley side. So the last thing that we do before we open the gates, we come through with a rake just to level the bedding off, just to level the sand off. And now this pen should be good for the next 10 days or so. So I talked about it a little bit a couple videos ago that we like the sand bedding also because it provides some traction for the cows in the pens and makes it feel a little bit more secure when they're walking around in here. I think they're pretty happy. I'll go back to our manure room there just to give you guys a little bit of a quick overview, and that'll probably be it for this video. So we'll see you there. In our manure room now, it's a little bit loud in here, so hopefully you guys can hear me. But basically, the sand and manure gets collected in a pit here, and it goes into these what we would call our sand separators. We have 2 of them, and then what comes out the back is, I just cleaned this up here. You can see some new sand is coming out already, but it's basically, it's still got some moisture to it, but it's stackable sand at this point. And then we'll move it from here over to this wall twice a day. And here we'll let it wick some more moisture, and we'll basically put this sand bedding right back into a pen tomorrow. So we let our sand sit here for at least half a day, but we're putting it back into pens pretty fast. So at this point it still has a little bit of moisture, but that's the nice thing about having this coarser sand, is it dries out in the beds really well. So as soon as we put this back in the beds, it dries out and it doesn't stick to the cows at all. But we're making some changes in this building here in the next couple weeks. So I'll probably talk about how this system here works a little bit better in another video. I think there's enough here to make its own video. So I think we'll probably end the video here. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week.